In a world ruled by deception, where justice bends to power, and truth is buried beneath corruption, one wolf stands against the machine. In these hallowed halls, where freedom was meant to flourish, the innocent cry out, while the guilty feast. But when the Constitution calls, when the Bill of Rights awakens, when the Declaration of Independence burns with divine fire, enough is enough. The transformation begins. Freedom isn't given, it's taken. Bad Wolf Unincorporated. Bad Wolf Unrestricted. Join the pack and run free. Don't tread on me.
What's going on, guys? It is the Bad Wolf, and welcome to the Bad Wolf Unincorporated Hour. Well, may or may not be an hour, maybe a little bit longer than that. Don't mind me. I'm just happy to be on the live. It has been so long. So many things have happened. So many updates. And always, we are unscripted. We are unincorporated, and we're here. So we'll see how many people chime in. I know this is kind of a busy weekend for many. So we will see what it will be. All right, 1 second here. All right. Let me see here. Okay, so I'm on a new platform. I'm no longer with what was it, StreamYard. So you guys have to let me know if it sounds good, if it looks okay. I got the same camera, but it's a different system. I had to set up everything new. So some things are going to be out of place. They're not going to look the same. Travis. What's going on? What's going on? My main man, Travis, is in the house. Appreciate you, brother, man. Nothing but positive energy. Blessings to you. All right. Let's see who else we got here. As you guys see over here, sometimes it's reversed. We've got the comment section. So everything you guys post, unless the system holds it, which I may not have it set up yet for that, it's gonna pop up over here. I'm gonna try to answer everybody's questions. So hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. And if you're in the Midwest, trying to stay best dressed in the Midwest, we are getting some of that Canadian. Can we say that? Can we say that on the camera? Okay. Canadian wildfire air. Now, what I find funny is that back in the old days, when there was a campfire, a forest fire, whatever else, for days on end, it would smell like campfire. It didn't smell like no chemical, plastic burning, whatever else. Now, there are some trees that when they do burn, they do give off some bad chemicals. But the media is trying to spin this as they say, well, the reason why it smells like it's formaldehyde and benzene and something else is because it is. Because the light is refracting off of the smoke, and it's turning into benzene and formaldehyde gas. So I looked it up on the internet. The internet agreed. Google said, yes, that does happen. So I don't know. Are we experiencing like the Mandela effect or something? Because like I remember growing up and that wasn't a thing. It just always smelled like campfire. You may have one or two trees that, pitch the smell, but they're trying to say, nope, it's normal. It's always been that way. I'm like, That is not what the people I know grew up smelling. I'm just throwing it out there. So let me know what you guys think. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys hit that bell, like, and subscribe on the way in. Looks like we got 25 people here. I know I did start the show a little earlier than usual, but hell, I haven't been on live in some time. So we're going to try to get it all in. That's what she said. So, yeah. Ooh, yeah. That's for Travis out there. He knows. All right. So it looks like we got Sorana. Hello there, Wolf. Perfect timing. Aaron Hatch is in the house. David said, what's up, Wolf? Ambush said, Dion is here. Love you, brother. Keep grinding. Fell said, peace. Aaron Hatch said, what do you do for health insurance? That's a good one, because, and then Inner World said, greetings, fam. Vox just jumped in with the what's up? Yay, yay. So health insurance. Okay. So remember, guys, we guys have random questions. Jump in the comments. If I see them and I feel like I can answer it pretty quick, I will definitely be on it. Don't be mad if I don't see it. Just depends on how many people jump in the comment section. So as far as health insurance, I'll be honest, it's funny you say that, because just this month I was like, man, I need to get health insurance. Now, I had health insurance for a long time, especially when I was on the corporate public side. And then, they had the Obamacare for a hot minute. And then I just kind of let things lapse. I've been, I guess, letting God take the wheel. And, I got back on electrolytes, vitamins, daily good, organic vitamin, and, just eating right, skipping a meal, things of that nature. So I don't have health insurance. I've been debating on, getting that. Remember, all of those things, though they are good, they are on the public side. But there's also nothing wrong with having some of those public side benefits. Okay. So that's why, these old timers who are like, oh yeah, you got to get rid of everything, or some of these gurus are like, you can't have anything that's public side if you're going to be a national. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because here's the thing. We were always, since the system was implemented, it was always supposed to be, we get to benefit from whatever is going on in our jurisdiction. And the public side is in our jurisdiction. We have the right to use damn near any and everything that they provide. So it's about learning to use the public side and the private side. And it's about using it for money or for privacy, whatever is going to be the best for you as a freedom and a right, or a privilege and a benefit. You should get the best of both worlds. So I will actually be this week looking for health insurance and seeing what's going on out there and what they're going to charge, and just jumping back into the ring. So yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. Special Agent said Ashwander Rule 6. All right, I'll have to look that up. Inner World says, how do we place life insurance policy within a trust? Okay, when it holds the mental biodentist or insurance, I'll add the insurance. Okay, so depending on how you want to phrase putting insurance in the trust, you can have insurance over yourself and make the trust the beneficiary, or you can get insurance through the name of the trust on you or on somebody else. Okay, so if you're going to do it yourself, obviously we just use your name. If you're going to use the trust, you can use the trust name. Depending on which insurance you go with, they may want to see an EIN. So you may have to go and get an EIN for the trust. Depending on how you move, you may say, no, I don't want an EIN for my, say, irrevocable or religious. Then get another trust. Have a trust that's set up just for that. So it really just depends on how you want to move. Special agent says, render on to Caesar what is Caesar's. Says the audio is going out. Okay. Let's see if I can close anything. Oh, there might be too many things open. Hold on 1 second. Okay, how about now? It should be a little bit better. For some reason, my computer opened up everything in the on the desktop in the back there. Should be good now. So I'll just repeat that. Yeah. So if you're going to do anything with insurance, audio is cool. All right. Thanks, David. Your audio is great. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah. So either you're going to get insurance. Remember, guys, the straw man, which is your all capitalized name on the state level, not the government level, but it can be. Your all capitalized name on the state level and lower is a public transmitting utility. It is supposed to take the hit. It is what you would use to get insurance. You can take out insurance on yourself. You can have insurance through with your name and have the trust the beneficiary. You can have the trust take out insurance on you. Okay. No issue. And my phone is tweaking. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, Riney? 584. What else we got here? Do you write up the trust? And if so, how much is your fee? So I have a limited number of trusts on blacksite32.com. You can purchase there. You can basically buy all of them for what the average person costs or charges for a trust. You can pretty much buy either half of all my files and the trust or every file I have. But I don't know what your price point is. So go to blacksite32.com, go to the file shop, and then they're either individual or they're all lumped together for a low price. I don't write them, but I can help you edit them and modify them, especially for the private side. Or you can go over to my good people, Ann LaFleur and Fearless Floyd. Their website is thefearlessfloydshow.com. Go there, click on classroom, and they'll teach you how to create, and you will actually create through their self-taught or self-paced trust courses over there. So shout out to them over there. So I have some, but they have a whole lot more. Price points are about the same, and it's all basically family. So it's not going to hurt me if you go there or vice versa. All right. Oh, thank you guys for telling me that the audio is better or great now. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you guys what I'm on. They're not paying me, but I'm on Restream. So I left StreamYard because they started getting expensive, and they started getting up on themselves like, oh, we're StreamYard. Of course you're going to just pay it. Grab your ankles and welcome to the Diddy hot tub party. And I was like, no, I'm out. I'm dead. So I'm giving Restream a try. It's new, a lot of different options and things are placed differently, but I do like the listing here of the comment section. A lot more options. The price point is a lot better. So I would recommend checking it out if you're concerned about price over there. Let's see, moving right along. So Keelan said, instead of signing as a patient when signing at a hospital, from what I understand, cross out patient and put what? Well, that's a question I've never been asked before. So they may or may not have a problem with you crossing out patient. A lot of them aren't so SMART. So you could put national, you could put guest. That may have a different price point. They may bill you differently. They may not even notice or care. All right. Maybe you have inside Kansas expired license, I can give it back to them with the form and letter to remove my info. Yeah. You can always ask them, send a letter, tell them you want to remove your info. That's right to deletion. If you're talking about doing right to travel, I would not recommend doing right to travel until you've watched all the videos. You're sure that's what you want to do. You've got all the stuff down. You've watched enough that you have a good, you're financially ready, you're mentally ready. You get your plate, and you watch all the videos so you know how all the steps, and then you're ready for a basic chat if bothered, and so I would do that first. Then you're ready, because it may cost you some money if they decide, you'll get it back if they bother you for no reason. Doesn't make you above the law, but then you can sue them and make some cheddar. Finesse, I keep having to put the volume up for your voice to come back. I can bring the volume a little closer, or the mic a little closer to me. Maybe, or maybe that's something on your system side. Don't know, but I will bring the mic a little closer. All right, there. Put the mic in, so maybe that'll help. If not, yeah, it might be something going on with you. Try to restart your phone or your system, clear out all that cache. I had one customer was like, I'm trying to download your stuff and it's not working, and la 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 la. And I said, clear out your cache, go to a different browser. They wouldn't do it, right? So I said, look, if you want a refund, I'll give you a refund. Like you want your $35 back or $50. That's not going to break me. I'm not going to cry. I just want to get you the product that you say. So I will resend it, clear your cache. And then the moment they clear the cache, all of a sudden the email changed. Yes, I'm able to get the product now. Yeah, thank you. Like, come on now. Salute Cherokee. Hey, what's going on, Cherokee? Appreciate you. It's been a minute. Are you seeking another Ron? So if you're, hold on, let's see here. If you're talking about Ron Gibson, yeah, if there's somebody out there who does know how to do the patent and the land patent process, and they want to link up and possibly work out something like me and him had, or be on the show, yeah. Like I said, if people have good products and services for this kind of stuff, I'm willing and open to working with you, possibly. What I really am planning on doing, I think this is going to be in October, end of October, somewhere in there, is for people who want to help other people with their products and services that helps, like, animals and their health, people and their health, whatever it is, things that oriented like this to help people. I'm probably going to do a seminar in October, and everybody, probably up to 6 people, will get an hour, and then we'll charge anywhere between $50 to $100 for the conference, to be not for the people offering products and services, but for anybody who wants to be in it, to offer their services. We'll if you're offering a service, it'll be free. If you want to watch and learn and be in the audience part of it that way, then there will be a fee for that. Floyd and Ann are beefing right now. I have not heard that. Okay. So if they are, well, then I'm sure they're still cool enough to offer their services. If not, let me know. We'll try to work on something. I'm in a Replevin case, and they brought in 2 lawyers now. Wolf, they bombed discovery, all objections, second motion to compel incoming. So one of the things that, now mind you, on my other website, www.jamesclovett.com, where I've got my seminar videos on how to deal with court and other things. I think there's even a right to travel for free or discounted right now. I'm not even sure where that's at. AI is running most of it now. It makes it easier for me. A lot of time, asking for discovery or professionally stating that, you're challenging jurisdiction, and there's a Latin term. It's coram non judice, basically stating that they are not in a position to judge this matter. Okay. And stating that they're misapplying the law to you. They're applying statutes and codes to 14th Amendment U.S. citizens, legal persons, and corporations to you, especially if you're doing right to travel. But you guys have to know the difference when to fight as a citizen, and that's okay. We've won tons of cases where you have to fight as a citizen. A lot of people come to me with their citizen normal tickets and whatever else. You're like, well, how do I use the national stuff to get out of this? I'm like, you don't. You fight as a citizen. If you have a driver's license, you're driving, then you have to fight it as a citizen. That license is their control point and over you. It's your membership agreement. That you have to know what it is. All right, let's see what we got here. A man of substance should never be a debtor. Okay, yes. All right. Hide that. All right, what else we got here? DJ MF Rel said, yo, Bad Wolf, I'm booking consultation with you this week, scheduled for next week if you're still available. Yeah, I got a couple slots available this week. I also opened up 1 hour on Mondays at 4 o'clock for people who don't have off during the day or the weekends or whatever else. That comes courtesy of my lady, and a lady who also mentioned it in my comment section. Duval says, what up, Bad Wolf? What's going on? Be Monk. What's going on? Yo. Everybody, jump in and say where you're hailing from. Fox says, thank you. That is what I was thinking. I have been working my way up to this almost 6 years. Yep. And you guys cannot be afraid to sue these guys, sue these people. But see, understand the thing, because of the way that I've approached people in a non-belligerent, non-combatant way, we have had, I and my mobile notary by the name of Common Logic. She will be on the show at some point in time. We've had police officers do consultations with us. Like I said, we're not against police. We're not against law enforcement. We're not against anything, especially nothing American. We just want people to know what the game is, what the rules are, what the sides are. And if you're against America and you're against our rights and freedoms, and I don't care if you're one of these gurus out here with your own little show or whatever else, it's like, hey, you're not going to take away what we have here. We're not going to lose what we have. We're not going to quietly in the night. Cherokee, yeah, I know it has been a while. Hope all's well. Yeah, things are pretty well, other than the Canadian wildfire. The smoke that turns into formaldehyde and benzene and some other gases. It's new for me, just saying. But yeah, and shout out to the Canadian peoples. I do have some friends and loved ones up in Canada, so hopefully everybody's well. It just really seems like everybody's going through hard times in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But it also seems like we're coming out of something, and we're going into something new. Who is doing land patents nowadays? So I see some people from Ohio out there, Maine, Toledo, Okay. Sorry, I'm answering some of the questions, so my screen is different than what you guys see right here. I'm looking at the chat panel, so I'm behind a little bit. I apologize. Right now, I don't have anybody doing land patents. I have his book, and we were like, we weren't finished with my tutelage. I have a majority of it done, but I'm not 100% on it. But I have all the basic pieces, and I'm going to do a show on the land patent from my perspective. Some people asked me, because some of y'all got some good ass memories. You're like, Wolf. Some of y'all be remembering shit that I don't be remembering. And you guys have to remember, even though I'm stupid smart, I did have a heat stroke. Okay, not a regular stroke, but heat stroke, which is not good either. So I do forget some little things every once in a while now. Plus, you know, your boy's a little old. Okay, a little older. But some of y'all be like, yeah, you said you were going to update us on what's going on with your getting the house off of the land or the property tax rolls versus. So we do have videos on that on jamesclovett.com, but those are the beta videos. We've got people who have volunteered to do some of these things where we're like, hey, this makes sense. We're doing the best legal versions of this we can. So we know how to get your house exempt. That's easy peasy. But getting it off and them recognizing it and then your shit is just off the books, that's the big one coming. And then another big one coming is the mission. It's creating a good mission. And then because with a mission, you can then set up with the government will give you plates and IDs and all that. So that's coming. But I also want you guys to know that any of you guys who've had a passport in the 90s, okay, do a FOIA on it to see if, especially around 94, 96, somewhere in there. Hell, if you had anyone in the 90s, just do it. Get me a copy of your FOIA passport so we can see if the state citizen terminology is on the application, because that's where I first seen it. Now, I already cracked that code and showed it to you on Cornell Law EDU. I found a spot, which I made in my last video, where they forgot to remove state citizen, and it's still on there. So that's in the videos as well. So yeah, right now I don't have anybody doing the land patent, but that, and it's going to take the rest of the year. We're about halfway through with getting the house off the property tax rolls. It's a whole process. It's a year-long process. So keep in mind that by the time you guys see a lot of my videos, I've been working on some of these things for months, years. Some of these things are a decade, 5 years, 10 years. I've been working to bring you guys this. So you guys just see the video and you're like, hey, all right, here we go. Bam, there it is. And then I watch the gurus squirrel my information and put it on their channels, you know, and I'm like, these dirty mother. But a lot of these things, it takes time. It takes a lot of time because sometimes they reject you right out of the gate. You got to push back. Then you got to figure out how to push back and all that good jazz. So thank you guys for being patient. But yeah. Can you sue a department or jail for false imprisonment even without having the name and numbers of the arresting officer? Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can sue even if you are found not guilty or they drop it or whatever else. You can always still sue them. Hell, even if you're found guilty, you can still sue them depending on what they did, okay, and depending on what you're suing for, okay? But yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Can we get into HIW? The people can change into how? Oh, can we get into how? There's an I in there. People can change the unconstitutional and health detrimental laws using signatures of people. So finesse, the only way that's going to happen is if we the people start to rally people doing like these online petitions. That's it. I've been trying to wake you guys up to some of that for the longest now. You know, people like you are going to have to create a petition and then start to share it and tell people, hey, don't you guys want to see this happening? It's us. They're not going to change it. They police investigate themselves, don't find themselves guilty. Government investigates themselves, don't find themselves guilty. We're the only ones who can say, no, you guys are guilty. We want this to change. But see, they're not losing any sleep over it because the people have become so lazy, probably because of the fluoride in the water, educationally being said, and all the other crap that they're allowing to be in what's called Frankenfood. So a lot of people are very docile and they're living check to check. So they're not really worried about like even my platform, like reaching like 1 million people and then, all that stuff. And even if that was the case, they still shadow ban it, So, YouTube doesn't market when I make a video or go live. They don't tell everybody. They don't tell all 91 or 2,000 people. It's levels of control. Any thoughts on the Real ID as far as it for federal use? Yeah, the Real ID has merged into being a federalized citizen ID. That's what that is. They're merging all of it. And one of the reasons why they do that is to pull the average person more so under their jurisdiction. It's all contracting. They're just trying to contract you lower into the depths of their maritime public jurisdiction, admiralty, all that. That's what they're trying to do. And because of we've made such a huge splash, which is showing no signs of slowing, of people getting their passports. They always gaze the passport as, oh, if you're leaving the country, that's what you need it for. No, it's actually the closest thing we have to a national ID. Red Pill Beaner says, much love, brother. Back at you. Sorry. There's little tiny plant bugs. If you don't, plants you see behind me. Yeah, I love plants. If you see my living room and some of my videos, especially on my TikTok channel, I think that's under The Bad Wolf or James C. Lovett, all one word. But anyway, showed my living room and it's like all plants. But when you buy new plants, you get the little bugs and then you can't sleep at night because then they fly in your mouth and nose and eyes and dive bomb you. Black Wall Street, aka North Side, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yes, there, I believe, don't quote me, that Wall Street was originally started by black people and businesses. I believe that's where Black Wall Street came from. Or they created their own Black Wall Street version of Wall Street. All right, we got a Wisconsinite in the house, got Cherokee, got a Californian in the house. New Orleans. Appreciate you. Nick, what's going on? Well, yeah, we're supposed to reach out to the senators and tell them what we want, but they don't listen all the time because there's not enough people making a push. Wolf, you're crazy. Yeah, you got to be crazy to deal with the emails I get on a daily basis, deal with my crazy girlfriend or my crazy woman, I should say, deal with my crazy family. You got to be a little crazy. You ain't going to make it in this if you ain't a little crazy. You take it too serious, you'll snap. You take it too relaxed, and then you're asleep at the wheel. Text, and if you need a remote online notary at remote. Yeah, if you, like I said, if you have services, email me. And then, like I said, I may put them up on my channel or mention them during the show or mention them here. Like I said, this is also for you guys to advertise your services as long as they're legal. I first learned of Bad Wolf when you were working on the coupon method. Yeah, so yeah, the coupon method, changing the statement that they give you into a negotiable instrument is still a thing. But once again, it's getting it to the right address and it's endorsing it the correct way. But yes, all those things still work. But some of the places out there, they don't know how to process them. So one of the biggest mistakes people make is they send it in, they send it to the wrong place. And then they don't put instructions on how to do it because they just think the people there are magically smart, and a lot of them aren't. So you have to instruct them. When you are operating, when you are existing and I don't want to say conducting either, trying not to mix the public side words, but when you're doing these things, you are supposed to be, if you're doing it correctly, you are on the private side and you are their boss. So you're supposed to be instructing them on what to do. Okay, so let's see, post this here. Special agent says you must resurvey it by the law of Moses by leaps and bounds, and they create the lot so they control it. Yes, that is a solid piece of what we did. Okay, so yeah, that is accurate. Okay. Okay. David said, I thought putting your land in a 508c1a makes it exempt. Okay, so it does, but there's two different things going on there, David. There is either you just saying to them, kiss my ass, it's in a 508, which is recognized by the government under 26 USC 508c1a, and just going about your business, or there's submitting that to them through their paperwork and then getting them to officially say, yes, we that is an exempt and we acknowledge that. So just putting it in there, you could do that, but they may still try to send you a bill if you don't get their permission, which then means you're going to have to fight them. You may have to fight them in court, but you're right. But they will always try to, I shouldn't say that correct. Let me say it correctly. Some states will just say, yeah, he's good. He's got it. You're right. No problem. Others are going to fight you. They're going to be like, nope, we don't recognize that, or that doesn't qualify. You're right on the private side, but if you, it's like leaving something at an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend's house, okay, whatever people are into, you know, or both, however you move. But like if you leave your debit card over there or some t-shirts or whatever it is, you know, and they have it and you don't, they're gonna be like, I still got your shit. Your name, your stuff is still over here. You know. So, but yes, if you quit claim deed it to the 508, but see, here's the thing. With that, they have a record of now who owns it. So now they're going to assume you want them to reach out to you to try to register it. And they're going to make a false bill or statement and send it to you and then be like, oh, well, we just assumed you were trying to register it. And so you got a bill now, you should pay it. And then now you got to fight. So we're trying to cut all that out. All right. Michael says, has anyone checked out 18 USC 31, 6, and 10? No, I have not off of the top that I can think of. Wait, maybe. I might have just come across that one this week. But yeah, let us know what that is. Put it in the comments, Mike. What about storage company after 3 years of paying, trying to auction off, only 22 months of not paying? I'm thinking a billing error. Well, if it was me and that I would discharge the debt, inform them that, you know, the debt has been discharged, or try to offset it with a negotiable instrument, get your stuff. I would also look at sending them a letter stating that if they want to get paid, that they should take me to court. Otherwise, holding my property is a violation of law because no judge gave them permission to keep that. And you also want to take a look at your contract you signed with them because you may have given them that type of permission. But still yet they're supposed to have a judgment against you for keeping your stuff. And at the end of the day, you can always authorize them to discharge the debt because they all can. They all know how to do that. Generally, I pay all of my stuff, you know, but let me say this correctly. the last time I went to the hospital, and I couldn't afford it because, like I said, I don't have insurance, and I'm not balling like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it fool you. All right, YouTube don't pay like that. Like I said, they even reduce what we get paid, or at least me, by 25%. So, but when I went to the hospital for that, what did I have? Ki- uh, Kidney stone. That was kidney stone. Yeah, I mean the damn ambulance ride. I would have been, for the record, if you guys ever have to go to the hospital, just get an Uber. Okay. All right, because the hospital ride, if you don't need it, you don't need what they have in there to actually live, was like $2,000 or something like that, or almost $2,000. It was crazy. And then they didn't even get me there on, like, it was, they didn't even know how to get to the hospital. It was crazy. It's crazy work. Anyway, so I had a fat bill, and I just authorized the hospital to discharge the debt because I couldn't pay it. So they all have the ability to discharge it, but that does not mean you're just scot-free, because you may see it on your taxes. They may withhold what you're supposed to be getting back on your taxes to cover part of that debt, and then the IRS may come at you and be like, remember the hospital bill? Yeah, well, you owe us now. I have my passport. How protected am I? Well, it depends on your level of understanding of what protection is. But one of the things we didn't really see or know until we started investigating the passport is that built into all of the passports is a piece of nationality. And if you read the first page, this is an old one. Okay, this is one of the old ones. But you can tell it's invalidated because it's got the punches. This is what they do when they invalidate it. But if you read the secretary's message, it says the Secretary of the United States of America hereby requests all whom it may concern to permit the citizen / separate thing, national of the United States named herein to pass in without delay or hindrance in the case of need, to give all lawful aid and protection. So that then, Wade, puts you under what's in my scroll list down here, which is 18 USC 112, internationally protected persons. We are guests of the corporate United States. Now, does that mean you can just do wild shit and whatever else? No, but it means you have you're back in the position of being these civil and public servants, their boss. And anybody who does not help you when referencing that statement or having your passport is in violation of the Constitution. And they can be reported, and tell them, hey, look, Department of State, blah, 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 FBI, you guys, I mean, don't say it like this. I would say you all work for me, but I'm requesting lawful aid, that I'm entitled to as a national. Go get it done, son. I hail from the nation of the all holy near the land of flat waters, attempting to opt out of the real ID. Do you think that would be beneficial for the passport application as a national? If that's what you have to use to get the passport, then yeah, I mean, I had to break down and get a, I don't even know where it is. I had to break down and get a state ID to get some things done. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. So, there's nothing wrong with having it. You just use it when you need it. That's the whole purpose of the straw man. The straw man was never supposed to be 100% of our daily usage. It was supposed to be like, all right, I need this. I'm going to use it to get this done, and then I'm done with it. That's it. Tyrone, what's going on? 41.5. Integrity, what's up, James from Southern Carolina or California? Face red heart shape. For some reason, they won't show it on this side from there, but okay. Nani, what's going on? Hawaii is in the house. Hawaii is an interesting state. They got some interesting things going on there. DJ said, yeah, I didn't get a notification that you're on live. Open YouTube to watch one of your videos and boom, I'm here. Yeah, they definitely do not let everybody know that I be doing my thing. And guys, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to, some people have mentioned that, like I said, they don't get the notifications. And all of you guys watching, make sure that you guys double check that you are subscribed. Hit that like too while you're here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, from now on, try to put out 2 or 3 videos every week. Okay. So normally it was like 7 videos at the beginning of the month and then 7 at the end, something like that or whatever. But it seems like 2 a week is a lot better and it's helping with the algorithm. So if you're not seeing my videos pop up, just know I'm making videos. So you may need to just check in on a Wolf every once in a while because, you know, they be hating. They be hating. We'll be sending you an email. Yes, commission, notary public, and Ron 100% legit. Okay. Michael says definition of motor vehicle 6. Oh, okay. Yes. You're right. Yep, I did. Matter of fact, that video on what you just posted is in my hopper right now. So yes. Yep. Integrity says crazy. Facts. Lemon juice breaks down kidney stones. Yes. So for me personally, I have added to my diet, and I usually talk more about like this on Bad Wolf Unrestricted, my other YouTube channel, but I like to mix up a little bit of normal stuff in the world over on this channel because obviously this channel is bigger. We're at 5,600 on the other channel now, so we're doing pretty good. The Facebook groups are doing pretty good. So I added psyllium husk to which is fiber to my daily routine, and it has helped my body tremendously with so many different things. When we eat our normal food, we're not getting enough fiber. I guess we should be getting between 10 and 20 grams of fiber. So I take about 10 during the morning, have my electrolytes, my light little, you know, juices, you know, watch the sugar intake, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times what helps, well, what depletes us is we eat, like, say, like rice cake or whatever you're eating, and it spikes your system. Boom, boom, boom. It's driving your stuff crazy. Your gut bacteria, your intestinal bacteria, they need a good amount of fiber in order to balance your system and to, they kind of negate that spike, which has helped my system, my energy levels, all that across the board. So I recommend, you know, and it's something so simple. You're like, oh, well, I have a piece of bread here or there. I've had, you know, maybe some oatmeal, and that is good, but we're not getting enough. Speaking of police officer driving by my house, hey, Mr. Policeman. It's always funny. Seems like they always know when I'm live and they drive by. All right. What is the form from the IRS when someone owes you some money and you can forgive the debt? Talking about a 1099-C? But remember, that's got to be a public side debt. You can't, as far as I know, discharge a private debt. Like if you owe me money, you can't do that. But if it's formal, you know, EINs and all that good jazz, then yes, you can use 1099-C. Chi-Town, anonymous player from the Himalayas. Yes. Hold on. Let me get that up. Come on. It's a little slow. So yes, Kansas is well on its way in legislation on the right to travel. See, guys, they never would have just done this on their own. That's because of you guys. That's because of me. That's because of all of us, the unseen heroes like Jackie Fig and people like that. So it's because so many people are doing it now. Even one of my cousins, he didn't really know about this, didn't really believe in it. He was like, I don't know, man, about that stuff. And I told him, showed him my shit, whatever. And for those people who don't know or didn't watch the videos, he just bought another vehicle. It's used, but still in great condition for the most part. And he texted me, he's like, bro, I'm seeing some people doing right to travel, and sent me a picture. He's like, it's wild, man. He was like, my girl was like, what's that about? Yeah. And I just did a video proving that Right to Travel was created for chauffeurs. So it's a commercial device. They give you the ability to get that commercial device, but to use it in a personal capacity. Personal means persona, which means a character, which is what the straw man is on the public side. So yeah, I did hear about that. I'm gonna make a video this week or next week on Kansas and what they've proposed. I think it was New Hampshire proposed it years ago, but it didn't take off because a lot of the people there are making money off of the DMV, and they don't want to see the DMV start to get skimpy with the money. But at some point in time, they're going to have to openly acknowledge it. Right now, it's their dirty little secret. And people are winning in court. And people are winning lots of money in court. Because it's a right. We want our rights. And the biggest thing going against some of these gurus out here is like one of them, I won't mention their names. Y'all know who some of these people are. Who either don't like me but want to be just like me. Or got turned, used to be one of us, and now they're talking about, oh, you can't. So yeah, right to travel is not an enumerated law. It's not. But here's the thing. What law took away that right? Because before the chauffeur license came along for companies and businesses, that was a right. The right, no law, no legislature was ever passed as positive law that said we're taking away that right. It just got forgot about. They suckered us into the van that goes to Diddy's house by saying, oh, well, just here, get a license. It's easy. It's just so that we know that you're properly trained, because people were getting into accidents and doing stupid shit. And then it turned into, well, if you do that again, we're going to take your license away. And then people forgot the right to travel was obfuscated. Well, it ain't gone nowhere. Or should I say, we're bringing it back. Yes, indeed. What else we got here? Yep. If you guys have not looked under the Vienna Convention, I'm mentioning the convention. Yes, we have rights there too. And yes, with the lemon juice too, if I didn't finish that part off. Yeah, lemon juice is good. Apple cider vinegar, if you can stand it, is also good. Have you heard anyone since the ruling of not needing to get a passport without them? I guess they've been a little bit easier on not sweating people about the Social Security. You don't need a birth certificate, but you still need a birth document. So that's where people get that part of it a little mixed up. Frog Dog, what's going on? It's been a minute. I'm seeing some names I ain't seen in a while. Good to see y'all. I don't have a state ID or a state driver's license or a passport. I have a completely private ID, and I use it for banking and all of my lawful purposes with no problem. Frog Dog, yeah, drop what you did, a little bit more information on that. I am with you. That is something I haven't made a complete video on because I've been using mine in the private. There's really, let's see here. So I'll show you guys mine. I don't have any information or numbers that anybody can use, but I will hide my private name, and I'll explain why. So here's my ID. the top of it says Levitica National Government with our seal or crest. Okay, my picture, no address, no zip code. I said this is used for private vehicle operation or right to travel, air, whatever, land, boat. I also created, it also has scannable information on the back. I think this is from ID Creator. It's got a nice little reflective film on it. I also then created an affidavit that says, you know, James C. Lovett, faith-based name, or common law name, religious name, Native American name is blah, 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 blah. Got it notarized under juret. Boom. So when I do use my privately made ID, if they're like, well, we just need to see something that, you know, proves that you have a legal name with us, because if you go to the bank or whatever, it's legal, it's commercial. So they want to see your legal or commercial name. So I've been using this, but most of them already know me and they know what I do. Though there are some new people there now. But yeah, like Frog Dog here, I've been using that. So when I'm doing right to travel, most of the time, I don't even bring my passport card or book with me anymore. I use my private ID because my private ID matches the name, matches the owner of the vehicles, which is Levitica National Government. Now, the only main difference that I have that may be different for some of you guys, which I don't know how to say it, but I'm not going to say like gives me more power. It's not what I'm saying, but makes my position more solidified, is that I went and got an EIN for my entity that I created my own ID and owns my vehicles. And that was directly through the IRS, like I've showed you guys in the videos. All right. So even when I got my second vehicle last month, they were like, well, we can't find you in our database for the state of blah, 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 blah. And I said, that's cute because I am not party or, you know, under the permission or parens patriae for the state of blah, 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 blah. I'm under the government, blah, 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 blah. And my shit is sanctioned, son, for it. I created my own private government. Then all of a sudden, when they looked that information up, because I gave them my SS4, because they're like, we need your driver's license, we need this, we need this, we need all that. I said, no, you don't. So you don't need that. So all you need is my passport and my SS4 that shows that I own that government. That is it. And if you're not going to do business, I'll go down the street with you, because last year I bought from your competitor. And then all of a sudden they're like, let's just sit. Oh, okay. So then all of a sudden they were super all on my Disney. Pa here. What's going on, mouth? Strawman was created for public officials and voluntary public officials. Facts. Facts. But by law, they had to give us, well, they didn't have to, but they gave us the ability to identify as one of them. So when you do use it, you're stating that I'm a public official or a trustee or a member of their system and circle, the public. Anunnaki, what's going on? Checking in from AZ. All right. Falling behind here on some of my comments, so doing my best here, guys. Trying to get password from my wife, and they're trying to delay it, put a hold on it because she doesn't have a birth certificate. Evidence process. So you need to find contact the state, vital statistics, the county, the hospital, and get them to say that there's no record of her birth certificate on file. Get anything you can, like newspaper clippings, an affidavit from her parents or people who might have been around when she was born, and school. Get school documents from any school that's still around, and then use all of that. I'm gonna assume you meant gold and silver, not golf and silver. I don't know if you can use golf for exchange. Hey, I golf, so that'll cover the debt. But yes, yeah. Florida has starting, at least last I heard, they were starting to open the doors for accepting gold and silver. So yeah, they're trying to bring back America in parts and pieces. America never really went anywhere. It just wasn't being used. It's in us. We're America. That's why when people are like, "Oh, F America, I'm leaving," I'm like, "Okay, bye." But the rest of us here, yeah, we're gonna you do you, boo. Go ahead, boo boo. The rest of us here, somebody's got to hold the line. Someone's got to hold the fort. I mean, I could have been out of here years ago. I was gonna leave, and then I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm gonna stay, and we're gonna light this fire. Northwest Washington in the house. What's going on? 7601. Let's see here. Hold on. Psyllium fiber. Yeah, helped me too. Yeah, if you guys looked at my cabinet, you'd think I was a 100-year-old man or something like that, because I've got like 4 levels of nothing but vitamins, electrolytes, nutrients, trace elements, MSM, monatomic gold, methylene blue. I mean, jugs of colloidal silver, jugs of colloidal gold. Yeah. But I bought 10 pounds because it was so cheap of psyllium husk fiber off of Amazon. And it has stabilized my system a whole lot more. It takes a little while. Don't go all crazy. And when you mix that up, you got 30 to 40 seconds before it's going to gel. So I like to put it in some cocoa powder and a little bit of hot cocoa, and just mix it up and then drink it within 30 seconds. But yeah, once it starts to do its thing, take it almost daily, if not daily. It's a game changer. It really is. Super chat. What's going on, Aaron? Appreciate you. If you were just starting out, what is the first thing you would do today? Passport, trust, or lean on straw man or something else? And thank you for the donation. Appreciate you, fam, because all of us need each other. Even this time right now, I could be spending with family or, my lady or reading. So I'm doing this not because I know it, but to help you guys out. And of course, yes, it does help me out a little bit because then people watch it and that goes, towards helping to get me paid. But I enjoy reaching out to you guys. So with that being said, what would I do right now if I knew what I know? Man, there's so much. Like, my head says I would do all of it because that's just me. But if I was just to stick to the key basics, just getting started, I would probably create a private ID, like I just showed you guys, with a private name. Even if I use, say, James Charles of the House of Lovett, okay, and I just went by James Charles, let's just say, right? And I create my own private ID. Like, I'm on the private side under common law. I'm doing a common law name change, which eventually, if I do that for 5 years, they'll accept it in the government for getting a passport with that private name. And that, my friends, is something that almost none of these gurus ever talk about, which is separating the straw man. That's the ultimate goal. I haven't, up until this last year or whatever else, I really haven't put it out there like that. But that's the ultimate goal, is to separate that which they put together. They forced joinder on your given name and merged it with your legal name. So they're indistinguishable. So basically, it's just like having dog shit in a cake. It's useless, wrecked, other than when you want to use it for that. So the real goal here is getting your name, your private or faith-based, a new given name, your true Native American name, onto the passport, and then still yet having your stateside legal name for doing things. Or you just go to the courts and you change your legal name into something different, and then you can kind of go back to using that name. But to me, it's already tainted. So I would create a new name, create my own ID. If I had time on my hands, I would do that first, wait 5 years, get some affidavits to support that, and then I would get the passport done with no social security number, birth documents, and show them my private name and have them put that on the passport. If I could start off, that's how I would do it. But if I wasn't going to wait, then yes, I would just get the passport, and then I would work from there, because you can always change it later, the name on there if you decide. And then I would start to put everything in separate private trusts. And then at the same time, I would create either my nation, my government, or my private tribe, my 508 faith-based organization. Basically you're mimicking almost everything that they already did to us, but you do it so that you build out your own empire. So that's what I would do. Gut health is crucial. Yes, indeed. The 80s, I don't think the 80s monk, when I did my research, I couldn't find one in the 80s. From what I remember, it was the 90s, but there may be some interesting information on the 80s ones as well. So if you can get the 80s, get the 80s. Primarily, it's the 90s, and I want to say it was between like 92 to 98. It's only like for about 10 years. So either 90 to 2000, somewhere in there. But yes, if you guys could get it, email it to me. We'll work out something. I'll compensate you in some kind of way, whether it's files or, whatever. We'll figure it out. But yes, I would like to definitely get my hands on that. That is a utmost priority. They've been blocking me. I figured they can't block everybody if 40 or 50 or 100 or 200 or 1,000 of you guys do this. I may be wrong. Maybe they've got that kind of reach, or maybe they'll intercept, I don't know. They have ways. Okay. They've got ways, but hit me up if you have it and you send it to me and I don't respond back, send it to a different email, get it to me. I did a FOIA on mine. They only returned one page, not both. That was the whole fiasco. They lost it. Both the state said they didn't have it. And then they said that the post office had it. Post office said the Department of State had it. Nobody knows anything. It's just gone. That makes me feel real great with my personal information out there. It's just gone. So either they're purposely hiding it from me or they legitimately lost it. Either way, so I could use your help with that. But yes, get it to me if you guys can find it. Naked trust, that's not an area where that's not a specialty of mine. I haven't had a chance. I'm almost done. I got about 80 more videos with topics and ideas, and then I'm going to get back to the books and bring you guys some brand new fire information on how to move even better. I'm kind of methodical that way. But as far as trust, that would be an Ann LaFleur on that one, or I'd have to do some deep research. It's not one of the normal 4 that I work with, or 5. Research I've done, Michael Jackson lawyer came up with a new will. How can you protect your trust? Will, because the lawyer was fired and came back and wrote a new will. Yeah, that's going to take a little bit more brain juice than I got right now for this. But I mean, if there was something not done right in the will, and depending on how it was written up, I guess he gave them permission to opt the lawyer to operate as attorney or power of attorney over it. So I'm not sure. I tried to passport. They said I owe taxes, but they won't send me a bill to claim. So my next step is religious claim. Yeah. So Frog Dog, we might be able to do a consult on that, but send them a ultimate letter stating that Their claim to you owing any debt will be void if they do not respond within the next 30 days with a verification, validation, and full accounting on the debt. Failure to provide that will result in the default of the debt and potentially a lawsuit. A driver goes back and forth. And that would you drive a team of horses for a stage goes to the first chauffeur? Yeah, driving is driving is commercial. It's a commercial license. It makes sense. I don't even understand how some of these gurus don't understand that. If you can take your driver's license and you can say, you know what, I'm broke, I'm going to do Uber right now. Uber says you need a driver's license to do this commercial activity. It's commercial. Anywhere where you are servicing multiple people that you don't know, okay, like my ex-girlfriend, but maybe mama, that's commercial. It's commercial. So you picking up food, dropping off food and whatever else, or dropping off, that's commercial. It's clearly commercial. And they administrate and govern commercial activity. If it's just you doing your thing without a license, that's private. That's right to travel. You have that as a right to use whatever the conveyance of the day is. It's been proven in federal court and Supreme Court. Zach says, I wish I had waited for the 250th passport card. Well, Zach, you didn't hear this from me, but I don't know if they're doing anything special for the card. I know they are for the book. I could be wrong. I don't remember. I remember going through the article, but I don't remember specifically saying the card and the book. I just remember seeing the book. But Zach, it would be horrible if you accidentally lost your passport card and then had to go online and fill out a DS60. I think it's a DS60. Claim it lost, and then you immediately went and got a 250 passport card at your closest processing center. That'd be horrible. Thank you. Are in an automobile in parish. Good, can't be taxed. An automobile, remember, so once again, think about it. When you buy a car, on that sticker, on that deal, it says automobile. An automobile and a motor vehicle are not the same thing. How it's used denotes, or where it's registered, or if it's registered, denotes its function. So whatever it's doing or being used for denotes what it is. But when you register it, you're saying, well, yeah, now it's a motor vehicle. Hey, what's going on? What's that? None your business? Oh, that's awesome. A motor, yeah, exactly. But see, you guys, you have to remember, most cops don't know this. Now, the good cops, and I know what you guys, some of you guys are going to say, there's no such thing as a good cop. Everybody always says that. I disagree. There are lots of good cops. My neighbor who just moved, retired from being a cop, he'd come over and see my plates and just go, And I'd be like, right to travel? You know about it? He was like, yeah, he's like, okay. So, and we've done countless consultations with cops asking if they can do right to travel. I said, not in your police cruiser, obviously, but your personal vehicle, yes. So, yeah, a lot of, they're learning. A lot of them are learning. Yeah, do they give you problems at the bank using your passport as ID? The passport card, yes, because there's no signature on there. Not the book. The book is fine. The card, a lot of them have never even seen it, which, how do you work at a bank and you accept IDs and you've never seen the passport card? That's as stupid as when a police officer goes, oh, our system can't run your passport card. Right. Like you can't call it in. Like your system, like the ID itself is not compliant. Every law enforcement's database system has to be compliant. They can lie to you. They're lying. Cherokee says, go to your competitors. Oh, I be playing, I be playing Mount Fudgers all the time against themselves. I'll tell them straight up, like, bro, I just bought a car from your other guy, cash money, last time I was over there, and you're acting funny. So that's how I got the vehicle. Some of y'all may have seen my vehicle on my TikTok channel. I don't think I put it on my YouTube. It's used, so don't be, like I said, I ain't balling like that. I'm doing okay. All right. But I bought a used Escalade. It's got probably like 70,000 miles on it or whatever else. It's nice, clean condition, some rust underneath, it's older. It's about 10 years old, but she looks clean. And I literally sent the one dealership that was acting funny and all pompity because they were like a more high-end dealer. I like the small guys. I really do. Said no girl ever. But I stayed over. I said, look, this is what I want to do. I want to put it in a trust. I said, do you guys need my trust? You guys need any of this? And they're like, no. They're like, just tell us what name you want on there and we'll sell it to you. And I said, what's the vehicle? Because I bought it unseen, right? And I said, I want it shipped because I looked all over the country, got the best price I could. And they said, look, man, I'm not going to lie to you. They said, you're probably going to need, new shocks on it, which is going to run you about, $2,000 or whatever. And I said, but the price point is good where that bounces out. So, okay, you know what? Let's do it. So I sent a sliver. I sent a piece of the ad in like the last 4 of the VIN or something like that. Not even the whole thing, because I didn't want them trying to find this dealer and talk shit or screw up my deal. But just to piss off the other ones, I sent that dealership just that sliver. Do you know that these people were, hold on, I think we can find it. They found it. They were like, just so you know, that one needs new shocks and this and la, 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 la. And we're willing to match the price. And we can do. I was like, oh, now y'all want to work. Okay. I think your name in the family Bible works as well. Yes, for many things. One of the things that the Department of State Passport Division of Travel, if you read the paperwork carefully, it says they accept original documents. Well, the Bible is an original document. Oh, how do we become free of tax obligations with our employer if we already have a trust? Do we give them the EIN? Yeah, I would create a tax exempt, either 508c1a or 508c1a trust or irrevocable trust or foreign trust or private trust, and then you give them your EIN. That's it, EIN in the name, and then set your bank account up properly. David says, how can I get the passport in my private name? I'm still working on that. I've been so busy. I've been like paused. I'm doing way too much shit. This is my problem. This is why my girlfriend always gets mad at me. I do way too much shit and I get lost in the world of all this, whatever. But the ways that I can tell you to do it is, and I don't like this first one, but going to the court, getting a name change document certificate, and then using it right at the passport agency. But then now the courts have your new name. So to me, that's kind of like, I don't want any of that. The other way to do it is if you start the common law name change, you put your private name. Like I've got my private name on I added myself as a user with my private name on my credit card. I got magazines coming to my house with my private name, bits of mail coming to me in my private name. I had people fill out, was it? Oh, you know what? I might have said that. I said DS60. I think the DS60 is for the declaration affidavit of name change. So I might have spoken the wrong DS form earlier. I apologize for that. But yeah, you can get people to fill out DS60s or affidavits saying that, yes, we know that he does use this name. And that can all be used as proof. Now, according to them, it takes 5 years of evidence. You have to use it for 5 years and have some proof dating back. You can also mail things to yourself with your private name on there. It'll be post dated and all that kind of stuff by the government. That then can be used as evidence for your name change. I'm trying to find a way that you can do it without the courts and less than 5 years. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm also almost on my 5-year mark from when I started doing my name change in the first place. So either way, in the next 2 years, I will have gotten that done. That's the ultimate in getting this done. You've got a bag of it and everything. Yeah, don't be eating no bad expired psyllium husk. Otherwise, you're gonna have that Taco Bell explosive Rhea, or the lettuce. Don't eat the lettuce either. Or you're gonna have, as my guys say, butt pee. Mud butt. If you're lucky, that's all you'll get. Yeah, toss it and just go get something new. Hey, Wolf, appreciate your content. I have an order account through PayPal last week. You could, if you ordered, there's 2 ways, and people are still doing it the old way. If you did it the old way, where you paid through just PayPal directly, I recommend just going to my website, blacksite32.com, consult, and everything is done there. But if you did it the old way, Harold, and you sent me the money, send me a copy of a receipt. I'll verify it that it was paid, because I don't get notifications all the time for some reason. Once that's done, then I'll issue you a link where you can then book the time and day that you want to do that. We've dealt with California a lot. I would probably say California, Texas, California, New York, Texas, and Florida are a majority of my clients. Everybody has an alias. Well, in all actuality, your legal name is an alias. They changed your given name into an alias, a legal name. That's what they did. And almost nobody's operating or living, existing with their true name. So your real Native American name, because everybody born here or naturalized here, you're Native American, whether you're black or whatever else, or white, Puerto Rican, whatever. You're a Native American. You're born here, you're native to America. Ergo, Native Americans don't have last names. They have houses, tribes, nations, whatever. That being said, it's your first name by itself with your middle name or combined. That's your name. What people call their last name, if you think about it, it makes sense. Because everywhere for me where there's a Lovett, Wilson, Drumgoole, Pickett, McCoy, whatever, are all a part of the same fam nation. It's your tribe. It's the Lovett tribe, the tribe of Lovetts. So that's your real name. But just James Lovett, that's the alias. We've just been working with our alias so long, we don't know that's an alias or just a legal name. So just booked my consultation for Wednesday, 7/22. See you then, big bro. I got you, brother. Appreciate you. You know how we do it, man. We still have a 95.7% success rate. We've only been stumped a couple of times, and that's been in areas where I'm still learning. Some of it has been in the area where I've been I won't say mostly stumped, but stumped, and we're still working, is like naturalization. Some people that are here that want to naturalize, it's worked for some people, but it's not consistent. So 1 or 2 of my clients, we're going to have to sue the federal government. We're working on that right now. The immigrations department, because that's where we're at with that. we've learned some things, unfortunately, that have gone on to help other people. One girl was naturalizing here, but she didn't tell me that she had agreed stupidly, because she didn't speak the language that well, into accepting a felony because this company she worked for was not legit. She didn't know that. And she got hit with some stuff and she agreed to it. But then we found out, if you're applying for citizenship and to naturalize and you have a felony before you naturalize, they will arrest you for that. Let that be known. So through that exploration that we're still working on, I mean, she's out now, we can use that to help other people. So just putting that out there. Do you know if there's any statutes, limitations on IRS collecting taxes that are past like 7 years? They have up to 10 years. They're supposed to clear their books after 3, but the government allows them to hold on to shit for 10 years. Anything after 10 years, then it's dead in the water whatsoever. But generally 7 years is about when they'll bother you, because that's the normal cutoff. Because even for them, I see somebody laughed at butt pee. Yeah. But Monk, let me know. I can probably help you out. We've been, bro, I'd probably say 98% successful with all types of IRS matters, especially this. But understand, if you're talking about like, hey, I've got my house and I want to know the depreciation and I've got like 40 different accounts and I've got multiple properties, I don't do all that. Just if it's collecting tax debts, getting them paid for, discharged, refiling within the last 3 years type stuff. But yeah, let me know. How do I book a consultation? None your business. No, I'm just kidding. Blacksite32.com, and then go to the consult page. Is indigenous status correction the highest form of status correction? Yes and no. Indigenous or inhabitant, native, yes. Also claiming religious, God-based, ecclesiastical. So God and indigenous are going to be the highest that they have to recognize. But you also have to get them to, you also have to speak a little bit of their language. You can't just be like, I'm indigenous. And they're going to be like, what tribe? Is it registered with the government? Nope. Okay, next. So you have to do certain things the right way. But yes. But understand, you're not wrong. They just set up these stupid little hurdles where they go, well, if you want us to recognize what you have, like, I don't need you to recognize me, but if you want any form of beneficial recognition, like to leave you alone or a special ID or whatever else, then yes, you have to play somewhat of the game. But yes, so you're not wrong at all. Well, Zach, I don't know what you did to get it, but ever since we let the secret out of the bag, they've been grading a little bit harder. We also know that they look at your credit. We also know that they look at your profile. So it's hard to say. But remember, we now know that even with a 3-star, you're still a national. I just read it in the book. So you're our national, but the stars, educationally being said, are like, if you're a general in an army and you get you're a 4-star general, you're a little bit better than a 5-star general. It's a little, so 5 would be your top-notch general, but we're all generals starting at the 3-star. If you have a 1 or a 2-star, you are straight U.S. citizen and your property as fuck. Is it true only U.S. territory born people can be non-citizen nationals born outside? No. If you get naturalized here, if you were born here, you get it all. If you're naturalized here, you also get it all. The only people who don't are people who are here either illegal, or if you were born on Samoa and Guam, then you're a U.S. non-citizen national, and you don't get it all. So they're the only ones who don't get it all. They're trying to make the argument that they are not an employee but a non-citizen national passport because yes, some people have been successful and gotten their employer to correct the term employee, because we should not be using the term employee on our pay, on our compensation forms and sheets and receipts. But if you're going to play that game, we should also be 1099 private individual contractors. When you get the benefits from there, those benefits are for 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. So, and I don't even know if I should say this on here because I know they love watching my YouTube videos. But for clarification, okay, there's a legal gray area. If you want to be exempt and you're checking off all the things, but then you're also getting benefits from them as an employee, that's gray area. Okay, there's no law for or against, but according to the gurus, you're slightly mixing the public and the private. Because if you're operating as a national and you're exempt, you really should be a 1099 contractor, not an employee, not receiving benefits. But the employer has gray area to say, I'm going to give this person benefits because I want to. So there's no legislation against it. But once again, that's the smush area. But if you can get them to not put employee on there, hey, get it done, son. But then again, you may not want to rock the boat. It's up to you. Everybody's got different fights. I can't fight them all. That's why you guys are here. I applied for the national passport. I received a letter saying I can't use RFD and need to submit a permanent address, and was told, yeah. So they're pushing back on you. So you resubmit the form and you put a statement on there that says, per your own DS11 passport in the brown question, I think it's on number 19, if I remember correctly. It says in brown lettering that RFD can be used, which stands for Rural Free Delivery. And then put in your statement, get it notarized under jurat, stating, I live as a living being and national in the whatever city, whatever state area, and no zip code. And you can say, what law requires me to use a zip code? Oh, and by the way, what law requires me to have an address? Then you put on there, please, if you do not understand this information, to send it to the legal department for a legal determination. And then you can also put in there, if you want to be jazzy, that it needs to be signed off by the legal department if you're going to deny me my rights under 8 USC 1503, denial of rights and privileges as a national. And then you can say, I am fully prepared for a federal lawsuit over this matter. You'll get it. Yeah, I'm a couple of behind on the butt pee. It is. Oh man. Seg, what's going on? Your skills are like Tony Stark and Batman merged together. Are you going to be able to AI version of yourself? Well, you know what's funny is, and I don't think I'm breaking any agreements, so I'm pretty sure I can say this, but yeah, I may be actually replaced at some point in time because and then I don't know what I'm gonna do for money. We'll see. I mean, I might be out there hustling again. I mean, hanging out. But there's a company who's paying me to record and AI analyze all of my videos, materials, everything I've got, so they can create an AI for the private. They approached me, so they were like, hey, so they kicked me a couple bucks, whatever, for the video. I mean, it's not a ton, but every little bit helps. So yeah, there are people working on private side AIs that specialize in constitutional law, private law, common law, all of that, because right now there's no extensive database for all of this. There's no set of common law. I mean, there's some loose things out there, but there's common law. Basically, it's common sense and then studying case law. But you have to study it and then pull it out. There's nothing. So we'll see. Butt pee. That's today. I was going to say that's today's word. No, we're not doing that. All right. But yeah, y'all know everybody here then had that moment. That's all I'm going to say. I've been using my ex last name for 20 years. You can use any name you want. That's a new one. Poop soup. What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with all of us? That is hilarious. I've never heard that one. Poop soup. Oh my God. That's horrific. And that's hortastic. It's horrible and funny, fantastic at the same time. What about American Indian, actually? Well, yeah, they would be indigenous people. Some people of color were already here. The Native Americans talk about that, you know. And then you've got certain tribes like the Cherokee who were some of the lost tribe of Israel, Hebrew, who came here and merged with them, the Cherokee, and became Cherokee. Some people say the ancient translation for Cherokee is people from a different land or people with a different language, if I remember some of it, because some of their religious beliefs are the same as the Hebrew people. Oh, you guys are wild. Doo-doo juice cocktail. Oh my God. I should not have opened that door. What's the first thing Steve says someone should do following a ticket for driving with no license in a court hearing? I will tell you there is so many little things to get right, but go to jamesclovett.com. There's either a free or discounted right to travel video. Gives you the full breakdown. But if it was me, the first thing I would do is I would be framing my story or the case. Were you doing right to travel? Or were you just enjoying what you believe is your constitutional freedom? And then I would be drafting my paperwork. And the first thing out the gate is I would say my name, Stephen Johnson of the Harper Nation, was enjoying my constitutional right. The moment your paperwork says constitutional or private, or like for me, Levitica National Government, and I've got my own seals and all of that, like, hey, whoa, unless you guys want to go for a, y'all want some static, I can do this underneath my own private thing. Do you have jurisdiction? Is my entity registered to the state to do business with you? Because if not, I'm not yours to administrate. I'm not under 18. I'm age of majority and I'm competent. And you're trying to force joinder on me by bringing me into the public because you're saying I was doing commercial business because you guys govern commerce, right? In public. And I wasn't operating in that capacity. I say we need a private site for citizens, sign petitions, get these sites on engaged people, petition. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be a private site per se, but it could be a site that it would be cool if we had a completely private site where good people were operating it and we could share all the files and all the information, a lot of things, just almost everything in there for free. Someone's got to pay for things to be operated and maintained, so that would be in there. But yes, that would be great. Problem is, now you're going to have agents, living agents, infiltrating it, and AIs infiltrating it. So it'll never be completely private, unfortunately. But yes, I do agree with you that we should people should start to create them. Do it. I mean, this is me doing my part. Y'all got to do y'all part. I'm holding the fence open. Y'all got to, get the next fence or the next door or leave a map. Do you have any documents on Black Site 32 to send to the IRS with my affidavits? Yes, absolutely. Black Site 32, there's free ones. I have 3 things. I've got free document page 1, free document page 2, and then I've got the paid ones. Okay. So I would say hit those 3 sections and find whatever you need. Obviously, the free pages have, I think we're at like 100 or 150 free files on there. And you can use those files to use with your chat or AI or whatever else to make it even better. Keep in mind, a lot of these AIs are programmed on the public side. So they're going to push back on a lot of things. Yes. But see, so some people are already doing this. Some people are trying to do this. Okay. The problem is that here's where, and I hate to say this, but here's where the public beats us. The public is coordinated and they've got a hierarchy. And for the most part, it's respected and feared. The private side stuff, people always go, well, I don't want to work with so-and-so, or somebody starts to get greedy, or somebody starts charging too much, or whatever it is. And that's why the public really doesn't fear the private in organizing. They fear the overall power of the private, but they don't fear us organizing to then pull ourselves out of their system and start using the private. Because the private is savage. You can either be cool or you can be a fool. And there, they keep everything straight, even though they're dirty. Most of them are dirty, or a lot of them are dirty. But they have penalties and things and places to actually keep people and to force people to pay or whatever else. So they're not losing any sleep over my videos or any of that. It's going to be a long time before the public is afraid of the private. But they're starting to feel something they've never felt, which is the ripples from what we're doing. They're starting to feel it. They can hear something going on next door and they're starting to adjust. Wolf, I've been trying to get a hold of you through Yahoo email. Yeah, they fried one of my emails. 1 or 2 of my emails are completely fried. The emails are bouncing back, so they've intercepted, probably with their COINTELPRO program. So, you can use Bad Wolf unincorporated at yahoo.com. That's one of the new ones I have. So if you guys don't hear anything back, even if it's something quick and just hey, I don't answer a whole lot of things for free or whatever, because I don't anymore. I answer 1 or 2 at my leisure, or I don't point you in the right direction, then I didn't get it. Because I still get about 200 emails a day and I just skim through, but I always give like a little, hey, go to my site, or just a standard response. If you're not getting that, then, but the best way is to go to blacksite32.com, sign up for a consultation. If you talk to me on the site, that's an AI that's using my information to trying to answer your question the way it thinks I would. Okay. The 09 endorsement as well. Yeah, for the passport, upper right corner, END : and then you want to copy the page if you're going to include that with your own explanatory statement on 8 FAM 505.2. Scroll down to the 09 and copy the whole section. And thank you to the Department of State for clarifying and updating that page, because now we know what the endorsement is supposed to look like. Everybody's asking me, well, what does it look like? Because if you read everything correctly, it says you're supposed to put the endorsement on your book. But we didn't know what it looks like. So they gave us the correct way of what it looks like. So I'm telling you guys, they watch my videos. There's no reason why they would just go, hey, you guys, you know what? We should probably redo the endorsement page and show them what the passport endorsement looks like, and the font and how it's supposed to be, put on there. They watch these videos, guys. They watch it. They watch all my videos. They always have since I was 19. Yes. I don't think I really let anything out of the bag, but yes, they're creating an AI for private law and constitutional law. I won't give you guys the name of the company, but they're working on it right now. I don't think I'm the only one they're using, so I think they're tweaking my materials, but they came to me for a reason. And I haven't heard any of these other gurus who are supposed to be so good and whatever else. And I don't know what I'm talking about. But $1 million company, more multi-million actually, came to me and they were like, hey, this is what we want to do. And I was like, yeah, this is bullshit. Come on, man. Yep, stop. This is bullshit. And I looked them up and I was like, oh no, they're legit. Okay. So they do pay me a little bit for that. I don't know if there will ever be a big payoff. It'll probably just be little bits each month when they take videos and, you know, scan or whatever. So like I said, they're a big company, not me. But as long as they're gleaming my information, I will get a little bit of that. But I would love for them to be like, we'll give you $1 million. We're going to take all your shit. All right. So what else we got here? Starting to catch up, but still behind. I absolutely run private to offline. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting the offline AI and then, or even making an AI, using the AI to create my own AI and then offering and issuing that for the thing. It might be the way to go. I've already written scripts. I used to be a computer programmer. So, you know, there's that. And I'm an engineer and a couple other things and blah, blah, blah. So outside born, later become citizen, can nationalize and become, yeah, yes, absolutely new account. Yes. See, it's if you pay attention, they're telling you, some people just don't know how to interpret what they're seeing. When you apply for, everybody calls it, oh, I'm applying for citizenship. Okay. But when you take the test, when you get the document, whatever else, what is it called? What is it called? It doesn't say citizenship. It says naturalization certificate or certificate of naturalization. Natural, nature, nationalization. The government has to bring you in first as a national, and then you get citizenship with it. That's what that is. Somebody's blowing me up. Oh, damn, 9. My lady. My cousin. Hold on one second. Cuz I'm live right now. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. But yes, that all comes with it. So the hidden meaning is in the fact that it's called the certificate of naturalization or nationalization certificate document, blah, blah, blah. What else we got here? All right. Seg, thank you so much for your NAS steps. The credit card industry, yeah, as far as I know, they were never given official approval to do what they did, but they're not going anywhere. They're just going to convert all their stuff into digital crypto and current, all that kind of stuff anyway. How does the authenticated birth certificate and Rule 220 affect the passport approval? They're not going to see that your birth certificate was authenticated unless you give it to them. Rule 220, they're not going to see that at all, because that's unless you give them a copy of that for your process. When they see that it's been authenticated, it allows you, because the birth certificate, which is different than the hospital or private issued one, the heirloom souvenir, when you authenticate a state birth certificate, you're taking a public side legal person document and you're pulling it out of their jurisdiction from the public, and you're turning it into a private document, which can then be presented as the living you versus the legal debtor 14th Amendment U.S. citizen version of you. Authenticated means authentic, which is America, the real world. They're telling us what's going on. The Rule 220, age of majority, you're making a statement and you're basically telling them that, yeah, I'm age of majority, I'm competent, I'm not under parens patriae, the state, so I'm not a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. It all is good information to put in there so that you can prove to them that you are a living person. The government has to accept you if you tell them you're a U.S. citizen 100% or a national 100%. When you mix things, which the average person does, you generally get a 3-star. Or if the agent is shitty and they don't know what you're trying to do and you don't push back or you don't reapply, then you're left at a 3-star, which is okay, but it's the first level of being a national and a citizen. But if you've done the mom and dad part the right, the 09 code, the address, real free delivery, all zeros, you don't use a 2-digit abbreviation, you spell out, say if you're in Florida, or FLO, 3-digit abbreviation, not the 2, then even if they do give you a 3-star, you're still a national. It's just they didn't want to make you a high level. Like I said, if you're a general, being a general is great. So you're a general. A general is like the 3-star. 4-star is in like a 4-star general. 5 is like a 5-star general. Right? This girl, my cousin, I just tell her I'm on a live and she's still like, well, my boyfriend, his ex-girlfriend is like following him and like he won't get rid of him, like, because he can't stop who follows him. She has him. Wild. That's too much. People are wild. If you got to worry about your boyfriend or your girlfriend that much doing something, you don't need to be with them. Call it a day. Or let them cheat in peace. One of the two. Whatever. James' websites are cheap. Making them and maintaining them is the issue. Oh, websites are cheap. Yeah. Well, but you see the issue I'm talking about is, somebody's got to do it. I see a lot of y'all think of like I'm like this, kung fu, I'm still learning. I've just been learning a long time. I never set out to like make a movement or whatever. I'm still cutting through the woods, the best places I can, and then leaving a path so you guys can make your own paths or copy mine or whatever. But somebody needs to do it, and then then it takes time to get there, But yeah, about land, yes. Terra firma jurisdiction. That's what we're all supposed to be. This is why you've heard the old timers, the old guys, saying, oh, I'm a living man on the land, is because the public's jurisdiction, their laws are water-based. The Constitution is land-based. So they took land authority given to them by us. They created a jurisdiction with our permission from the land into the water, and then touching on land where land and water meets laws. Our laws are strictly on the land. The Constitution is land. You fight in court, you need to be like, yeah, constitutional, this is terra firma jurisdiction, land, common law, if you want to use that. Private law. Not statutory, admiralty, maritime. That's what they are. Land is real. Land is equity. Their world is the whole fictional dead things, debtors. Right. Yes, yes. Bad Wolf is the OG. Yeah, in some ways, was I ever an actual G? That was a long time ago, but yes, I did run for a long time with a. I won't mention the name. I'm gonna strip the sign. Some things never go away. But in this, yes, I've been doing this for a long time, longer than some of these people have been, especially these days. Some of the older gurus, the fatheads, the unks, some of them have been doing it longer, probably maybe longer than me. But for me, I started this when I was 9 years old, when I first came into it. And then I didn't know how to study or anything. I was 9, you know what I mean? But then I jumped into it at 19, and that's when I started pounding the pavement. Okay, okay. Um, just rewound to start from beginning. Check out health share accounts. All right. I don't know what that is. I'll look into that one. Video coming soon. Health share accounts. Got it. I'll do some due diligence on that. Do you have to re-notarize documents where the notary's commission have expired? Nope. And also, if you're, come on, Rain. If your authentication, if you get something authenticated or apostilled or apostilled, and the country turns Hague, because that's their evil master plan, is to get everyone into the Hague Convention, you don't have to get it re-authenticated or re-apostilled. Once it's done, it's done. It's good. Okay? So keep that in mind. Signing the passport application with TTEE, yes or no? My brain is not on for what that means. Normally, people put beneficiary, all rights reserved, without prejudice, UCC 1-308, something along those lines. But I don't anymore. I usually use the explanatory statement, and all of those things are in there. But if you are going to put something behind your name, make sure you do that after you swear in. You sign, and he says, now you can sign. Then you sign it in there and you put it in there. If you do it beforehand, they might, some of them, even though they're not supposed to deny you, they'll deny you, or they'll give you a hard time, or they'll make you redo the whole thing. It's private health insurance. Okay. All right. All right. I've been going through racial harassment and discrimination case with my last job, and I first signed papers and the signature. And they told me to resign without the, because when you sign it that way, you're stating that I'm not waiving my rights under the Constitution. You're stating that anything that's an adhesion or private or I don't see contract that you may try to imply later on, I'm not party to. Unfortunately, as we get smarter, you have to remember, some people out there take this information and abuse it. Some companies are getting smarter and saying, oh, is that what that means? Oh, hell no, I don't want my employees reserving their rights. If you're here, you're under our contract. You're not going to waive any aspect of our contract. And then, of course, our government, primarily through the FBI, they issue, when looking at this, some sections of the FBI are clandestine. That's all I'm saying. And they issue their, because there are bad people out there who abuse this information, swear it does certain things differently. The FBI then makes a list and a little note, PDF, I have it in my computer, where they say, oh, beware of people using these things. So then they spread their propaganda, kind of like Netflix, and making their little elite government backed cabal, whatever movies, talking about, oh, be careful of people who are going put their hat down in their vans, and I'm traveling, and they're all shady, and they've got to. So then they show those videos. So you do have to be cautious when it comes to dealing with any of them, because the Hydra members out there that are in some police officers, in some FBI, in some government, in some state, in some municipality, in some board members, they're trying to, on one hand, well, you know what? Well, I'm going to say it like this. They're trying to push back against all of it. And they don't care if there are ones who are doing it the good, correct, constitutional way, and the ones who do it the bad and are dangerous individuals, which we do not condone here. They're not smart enough to draw a line and say, this is good, lawful, and constitutional. Their balls aren't that big, because then they're going to be waking up the very police officers that, oh, wow, there's a constitutional way to do this, but it still trickles through anyway. I've heard it from cops. So they're learning. They're all learning. They're all learning. But remember, even the FBI, all these three-letter agencies and whatever else, they're also under maritime admiralty jurisdiction. They work with it. It's a part of their bubble, so they work with it. But they all swore an oath to the Constitution. But they can all operate constitutionally or statutorily. But for them, their power is over the 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, or the real ID carrying, or the federalized U.S. citizen. We as nationals and private citizens are their boss. But if you know how to move, what they want you to do is they just want you to move that way and stay private. They don't want you muddying up things. If something is for a federal citizen or a U.S. citizen, then they want you to just be that. But because some people out there abuse this information, they're like, well, we got to put it out there that some people are trying to do these things, but they never seem to issue any official documents talking about there are constitutional rights, freedoms, and liberties. So FBI, because I know you guys watch my videos too, I've already been told, guess your network is not as good as you think, that you guys are authorized to share the actual constitutional information and rights that we have. To not share that there is a proper way to do that, or that we have as nationals, 8 U.S.C. 1401, 18 U.S.C. 112, and so on and so forth, have a right to live privately. And I hold you to your oath of offices to inform them not only of the bad, but the ones who are doing it the right way, and that there's a difference between the right and wrong way of living private, and those who are against the establishment for their reasons. End scene. All right. So what else we got before we get ready to go? Because we are at 2 hours. All right. This was with the EEOC. Yeah, they're a good place to jump in there on your behalf. They'll handle that. And if not, then you go after them. Yes, a signature or sign of nature. Okay, the signs are non-living things. Nature is living. So the signature means you're merging you with the sign, which is your legal person. But yes, that can be anything. We already made a video on X marks the spot and what the line means. You know, even the signature line on your checks has MP at the end of it. Why? Most of you guys are young, so you guys don't even have checks. But if you find some old guy with checks or old lady with checks, if you look at a blank one on the signature line, there's an MP at the end. It stands for microprint, because that line is not even a line. It's actually a sentence. Authorized agent, blah, 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 secure, whatever. So they've been hiding it right in front of us the entire time. I think they call them cafeteria accounts. Okay, I haven't heard of that one. All right. Wolf, if I had a book and wanted to add it to your library, how would I get it to you? Paper copy. You would email me and ask for my P.O. box. And then I would have it. Some people, believe it or not, I mean, probably only like 4 or 5 people have ever sent me anything. But yes, I have received probably about 3 or 4 books from people. And also, even though I said I wasn't buying any more books, I will show you guys what I broke down and bought anyway, because I'm weak and I can't say no to things that I love to put my hands on. All right. So I got this book from recommendation. It's out of print, but it's A Secret Meeting in Rome. This is supposed to be a good one. And Confessions of an Economic Hitman, also supposed to be good, by John Perkins. The Commercial Law Dictionary. Reason why I got this one is because I don't want to hear anybody arguing that, oh, those terms aren't commercial, because if I can find it in the commercial law book, like the word driver, then driver means, and I opened it up right to the D's, the D. That's hilarious. So then it must be a commercial term. So while I got it open, let's see if the word driver is in here. Drunkard. Oh, look at that. Looky. Driver, a person driving, a person actually doing driving, whether employed by owner to drive or driving his own vehicle. So, one, we now know that even more so, commercial dictionary, drive means commercial. But it can also be used for personal or persona, mask, legal person use privately while on the public side. Personal use, persona, personal use. Driver's license, also commercial. Gem drop here. Now, no, you know what? Nope. Gem drop, If you know how to use what I'm about to say, it is what it is. Driving while intoxicated. Apparently that's a commercial action. That's all I'm going to say. So when you have a commercial book, it's a little hard for them to say that it's not a commercial activity. Was I in commercial activity when was I registered to? Do I have a license? Do I have a plate for? Is it in your computer? Some of y'all don't realize what I be dropping down, and some of y'all be like, oh, hell no. Y'all see it. All right, then there's this one. I think this one's also out of print. Back when in schools, they used to give you business law books. Kind of funny how right here, business law, they talk about license plate. It's like it's business. Commercial, for profit, public side. But you can see here, whoever has this in business law made notes. So I can't wait to go through this bad boy. It's nice. And then one of our viewers sent me, well, actually they sent that one too, but also they sent this one, Melanin Research. So that's going to be a good read. And then this one, I wanted to see if there was a book that the judges learn to be judges. Come to find out, there it is. No, there's no official judge school or college. It's just on the job training. So you're a lawyer or whatever else, and then you get so good at that, then you can be brought into the fold, and then they kind of guide you as you're there, but essentially there's no official school for that. They're kind of giving, okay, there's some ethics stuff and you really shouldn't do this, but like I really need to sit down and look at the legalities that there's no official check mark pass the state course. There's got to be something wrong with that. My brain has got it sitting over here. I just haven't sat down. But anyway, they do have books that they write for each other on how to be a judge, magistrate. I just thought that was kind of funny and interesting. Oh, look at this. Sidebar appearance matters. I don't think they like me having this book. That's good law. So yeah, I'm gonna have tons of stuff coming to you guys. Don't even worry about it. I got y'all. All right. So of course we've got what we got here. Integrity, British Accreditation Registry. Yeah, but see, that's a membership. That's all it is. It's just a membership. It's not a whole big actual licensed. The bar card is just a membership card. That's it. Then they talk, but it's not an official checkbook. You know, like police officers, at least, like they have to pass all the exams, they have to do all these things, and then somebody grades them. You know, blah blah blah. It's not the same way. Correct. Where is that? There are sober people that run over people, so drinking is not the reason. Well, nobody should be drinking and driving, first of all. As somebody who, and I hate to admit it, used to do that when I was young and dumb back in the days, 20 years ago. Now, if I even think I'm going to have one, I just jump right into the Uber. I Uber out, so it's not even the thing there, okay? But moving right along, Money said, most judges are lawyers, but aren't supposed to have bar cards. If you know true law, you are 1,000% correct. If you know why and how they're able to get away with what they're doing, then you know they pulled off some shady shit a long time ago, and most of the American people are asleep at the wheel. What do we got here? Up next. Come on. Come on. There we go. It's a history book I wrote called Immunity Incorporated, How America's Government Granted Themselves a Power Not in Law. That would be accurate. What they did is they abridged the Constitution. So what does that mean? So the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, all that good jazz, congressional. So basically they said, look, everybody has the right to operate privately. We all do. I mean, that's literally what Levitical national government is. Now, there's completely privately without anything from them, their consent, their whatever. And then there's with their consent publicly, and then with their consent privately. That would be Levitical national government. Levitica is completely private, not on any other books, nothing, invis. But my government, because of how the laws are written, allows me to basically do my own thing. I could have my own people, my own Leviticans, and I could have my own rules, regulations, penalties. We could have our own banks. We could start to do all of our own things like that if we really wanted to push it to that level. So what these people did is they created their own network, and their network got so big, it's called the public. And their people are called 14th Amendment U.S. citizens, legal persons and corporations. That's what they did. So what they're doing is not unlawful. The law sanctions that they can do it. But where it's kind of a little sketchy is that they don't tell you what's going on. They don't give you the rules. That's what makes it what they're doing illegal to a degree. because they're not telling people what the rules are, where to find all of the rules. You cannot embark in something and not know the rules. But how they're kind of getting away with it is they're saying, well, look, we have two requirements to be in our thing. Okay, you either have to be under 18, okay, your minor account, and stupid, or your age of majority, okay, meaning you're over 18, and you're stupid. You haven't told us that you're competent. So to be out of their system, you have to be over 18 or never have been brought into the system by your parents, your pair of renters, your biological mom and dad on the private side, and be competent and not be belligerent. And by competent, that means not being a belligerent combatant, doing anything criminal, or taking away somebody else's rights or endangering public safety. If you do any of those things, then they have the right of implied license to believe that you're just crazy in the head, you're under 18, you're stupid, or whatever else. You haven't told us you're not. You're clearly not if you're in front of the judge. So the government gives them the ability to administrate over those types of persons. Nadi, what's going on? Oh my God, yes, finally catching you live for the first time. Yay, yay. How you doing, Miss Lady? How you doing? How you doing? It's good to see all of you guys. You guys are all beautiful, wonderful people. Let's see what we got, and then we're going to wrap it up in the next couple of minutes here, guys. We've got to wind down, grab some grub, check in with the lady, and then get ready for Monday. We got consultations bright and early. All right. Rio said, I had a few good wins I want to share privately. What's the best way to get a hold of you? Email badwolfunincorporated@yahoo.com. You're shot. Monk. All right, guys, we're winding this down. Aaron says, thanks, James, for your beneficial information. I headed to the top at Godspeed. I'm going the distance. Later, Wolfie. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Bri. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for listening to me and for living this way, wanting your rights, wanting your freedoms, wanting your liberties. We've all heard about the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights, private law. We've heard of these things. When you pass by a golf course, it says private on there. You don't see cops driving their happy asses up in there. It's private. Some of them are 100% private. Some of them are on the public side, but private. Some of them are exempt. All these things, like, yeah, they don't, the golf courses, unless they don't know what they're doing, they're exempt. All these people, when I used to run with wealthy people, millionaires, cartel members, Russian mafia, G's on the street, business owners, Arabic dudes, Med Illuminati, Masons, police, good police, bad police, good sheriffs, dirty sheriffs. I've run with all these people at some point in time. I used to throw big parties back in the day. All right. Without all the weird stuff, you know, I was like the North Side Diddy. All right. And I would run into these people, hook them up with this, that, or whatever, you know, stuff not to be said here. Some stuff can be, you know. And so I would just listen to what they said, or they would tell me, you know, these things. And I would just, that's how I networked, you know, since I was like 22. That's when I got into the nightclubs and bars, and I had to learn about all the good and bad that goes along with that. And I just met so many people. I traveled, and, you know, and then just, I'm bringing you guys the stuff that so many other people out there live by, but they keep it private. Because even YouTube is considered a public platform. It's .com. It's commercial. Commercial is public. That's why they don't like some of my videos being out there all like that, because, you know, hey, well, That's why I've got www.jamesclovett.com, even though that's commercial too. But those are my videos on my site. Okay. Technically, I probably should have made it like .net or edu or something like that. And, you know, then there's benefits to doing that too if it's just education. But that's why always in my videos, unless I forget, I always have to say this is education and entertainment. Individual results may vary. So, Nadi, laughing aloud, currently trying to figure it all out. If you haven't, I would suggest you go to my main YouTube channel. Go to my main page. All right. When you're there, drop down and you'll see like a playlist. Look in there for the one that says courses. Open up course, and then one will say getting started as a national, living in the private, something like that. Watch those and watch all those videos. There's like 9 of them. And then that'll give you a good foundation. Once you have that foundation, and I appreciate you. I'm pointing Nadi out right now. Because YouTube tells me that only about 20% of my followers and watchers are female. So I do appreciate the ladies. Some of y'all may not like my other YouTube channel because, you know, I try to promote y'all, but it sounds like I'm being mean or rough, and I'm not. Okay, I was raised by ladies, my mom and my sister, so I'll be advocating for you guys, but I do appreciate you guys joining my channel and supporting, because y'all need this too. This ain't about white or black. This ain't about gay or straight. This ain't about man or woman. This is about the elite are pinning all of us against each other, and they're destroying the nuclear family. And they want us all to fight amongst ourselves so that we don't pay attention, like in the movie The Wizard of Oz, to them behind the curtain. They got men trying to be too soft, women trying to be men all the time, guys trying to be, you know, what are they? Men going their own way. Females, you know, trying to do too much and sleep with everybody. Now, everybody can do whatever y'all want to do. I'm just saying there's an agenda behind it. And the only one who wins is them, because they make money on all of the services that come from those problems. The child support, the sex dolls being bought on Amazon at an alarming rate for males. They're making money on all these services. The police, the courts. All I'm saying is that y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Y'all grown, or you should be. Just understand that after running with some of these people and learning what really goes on, who's really pulling the strings, we got to take back our rights and get back on track. And the majority of people are, but we're being entertained with their degradation of our nation, our faith, our rights, our freedoms. So that's it. All right, let's finish up. Top leader, appreciate you. Takes one to know one. All right, we're going to run through these last ones. Prayers sent right back at you. Anybody who wishes me positive health, light, and protection over me and mine and the return of my son, back at you guys with all the positive things you guys need. Cherokee, you know you're always on top of my list. Nunya says battle for president. Well, I did tell you guys that I was on a call, I was on a call with a client who did a consultation with me, who called President Trump Cheeto, King Cheeto, some people call him, while we were in the middle of this, and we got his voicemail. So that was hilarious. So apparently my client put him on to watching my channel. So we'll see if that gets him right in some areas. You know, I was thinking about running for governor for my state, and president, I don't know. I don't think they want me to be president, but I appreciate the thought. John Harnick, Bad Wolf, what's going on? Or did you mean Bruce Wayne? I got called that earlier, Bruce Wayne and or whatever it was somebody said earlier. All right, guys, that's it. That is it. Hold on, let's see. We got one or two more. Get them in there. I have my own colored copy MCO form. Where do I look to place the right information to fill it out the form, please? I would have to see it. You're gonna have to just kind of read through. If you made your own, that's one thing. If you got a copy off the internet, it should be self-explanatory. If not, I'll tell you what, take a picture of it, run it through your chat, and either have it create one, fill it out for you, or instruct you on where to put and what. But usually it's going to be like your make, model, year, color, you know, any distinguishing marks it may have. And that's it. All right. And we're closing out with Cherokee. I appreciate you. Have a great evening. Have a great last little bit of the weekend, a great week. Stay healthy. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for being on this journey in this life, this reality, this universe, all of that here and now. I thank you guys. And may you have the best, be the best, and every day try to be a little bit better. And I'll talk to you guys later.